Right, so you know me, I'm all about the principles, just going for the general deal and letting you guys decide how you want to tweak it. So what we're doing here is basically making like a modified chocolate peanut butter-esque Rice Krispie treat, except we're going to go for more volume. So first thing first, volume carbs, alright? So during prep I would hunt around trying to find which cereals, which things, crunchy, voluminous carbs have the lowest calories. Obviously the obvious one is popcorn, and I've shown that before, but the thing is with popcorn, unfortunately I find it gets really soggy when I do this kind of thing, so at least the way I do it anyways. I know I could tweak it and be higher in sugar and it probably wouldn't get soggy, it'd be more like a popcorn ball, but the way that I do it, where it's kind of a mix of fat, mix of a calorie-free syrup or something, and sugar, it just ends up getting soggy. So a couple options here. So you can do Fiber One chocolate squares, amazing. They also have honey squares that are great. There it depends again how you choose to count the fiber. You'll see, 80 calories, 25 carb, but so 25 carb, 80 calories doesn't add up, and that's obviously reflecting the fiber. So again, up to you how you want to calculate fiber. Those calories don't yield as much as non-fibrous carbs, so that's why you see that. Kicks. In my hunt for volume, 110 calories and 25 grams carbs for 110 calories. For a cup and a quarter. So again, cup and a quarter. Now we're talking a lot of volume. Most of these cereals are giving you about 110, 120 calories for about 3/4 of a cup. So you can see there, 110 calories for a cup and a quarter. Another favorite one. These go better, so you can find a puffed wheat or a puffed rice, just plain, 70 calories for a cup. These are pretty versatile. I'll use them in all kinds of different stuff. Pre-work I'll often just make a big kind of slop mix with crunchiness-ish, which is basically like yogurt and fruit and stuff, and then that all just kind of topped on there. And that works as well too. For these type of squares, if you're doing something very heavy on the sugar or marshmallow side and actually trying to make it like not focusing so much on the volume, just trying to make something that tastes pretty amazing, they can go awesome. They can basically be like a Rice Krispie square, except with those, puffed wheat if you want to have your whole wheat, your whole grains or whatever. But so that's it on the carbs. And then the other option too is instead of just make this chocolate sauce I'm going to show you and simply just like frost rice cakes with it, if you will. And then there you're looking at 35 calories per rice cake. So I mean, think about the volume, stacking that up. So onto the sauce, and here's where again I just hate providing rules. I like to just kind of give you the principle. So the principle is basically half a cup of stuff to roughly 3 or 4 cups of crunchy carbs, and then roughly a scoop of protein powder mixed in to make it a higher protein snack. So honestly here, so we got some avocado that I basically just mashed all up into a nice paste there. Then I'll use an oil. Again, this is basically just showing you how to sub out. So what's the mindset, right? So a typical thing is going to be a mix of butter and marshmallows, and that's how you're making your thing. So I always think, what can I sub in? Okay, what are some different fats? Okay, the olive oil, okay, the avocado, and again I'm going extra light olive oil because extra virgin would taste nasty and something like this. And then the other thing, you usually are going sugar. So this half cup, like I said, is kind of a mix of, like I said, butter and marshmallows. So then it's like, all right, so what can we do on the sugar side? So I just started experimenting with this just recently. Walden Farms chocolate syrup. Obviously because of the water content in that, it's not going to go quite as good as just straight sugars like, say, honey, or if you even had like corn syrup, marshmallow bits, things like that, or even taking these mini chocolate chips and putting those in there. Obviously that's actually kind of a mix of fat and sugar, but so things are not going to go quite as well when you do that, as far as again trying to actually mimic a Rice Krispie treat. But the point here is to kind of sort of have it but massively get tons of volume. So that's why I go with the chocolate syrup for most of it. That is a little bitter, so if you do that, all on its own is just not good news. So basically, you guys can ask me. I kind of have different versions of this recipe. Where one is like I'm just trying to go all out. So in that case, what I'll use regular old peanut butter, full calorie peanut butter, and I'll just do like honey, avocado, olive oil, kind of a blend of all those things. So kind of like all the healthy, high calorie things. And then I will do that on the fiber one. And over the Christmas break, let's just say I had a little bit of an addiction problem, like unable to control myself with those. But in this case, what I'm trying to do is show it using my oatmeal's PB Lean. So it's basically like a powdered peanut butter, greatly defatted, only a couple grams of fat per serving there. So again, you know, kind of just knock yourself out. In this case, I'll be honest with you, I'm not tracking macros super strict right now. I just kind of have rough ranges and types of food. So in this case, I'm going to do my calculations after, but again, I'm just going to take my half cup and compile some of these guys in there, mix in my scoop of protein, and then take my 3 or 4 cups of crunchy carbs or rice cakes to top it on, and get after it and enjoy myself here. So obviously if you're actually tracking stuff, you're going to be weighing this out, I get that. But just to show you how much, again, the principle. Okay, so let's say some avocado, a little over a tablespoonish, just to give you the idea that like you kind of can't get this wrong. That's what I'm trying to show you here. Walden Farms, this tends to glom up a little, you gotta shake it out. I try not to get too crazy with that because again it will get bitter fast. It's probably almost a quarter cup there into my half cup. Go a little more just because it's no calories, right? And again, that's no calories is again relative because that's actually carbs in there. Excuse me, fibrous carbs. Honey, probably going to get about a teaspoon or so in there. Getting that to make its way down. So again, if you were calculating all this precisely, like I probably should be, you would just simply weigh all this stuff out and kind of take your own crack at it. Whatever you felt floated your boat. Take some of these mini chocolate chips. Again, I'm going about a teaspoon or so of those. It's actually not that many calories. I'm amazed how much of these you can eat. They seem like more volume for the little pieces. So these, what I'm doing is I'm getting my half cup together, and then it's all going to go in a saucepan, and I'm going to melt it on the stove. I'm going to go about a teaspoon or so. These little mini marshmallows, and then a teaspoon or so of this olive oil, which is basically going to be the remainder of this bottle that I had here. So now I think I'm going to have to go ahead and put some more Walden Farms in, I guess, because I really don't care to have the extra calories of going too much more of this other stuff. Put a little more avocado in there. And some Walden Farms. I sometimes like to throw just a little bit of vanilla extract in here too. Adds a little bit of taste. Then we'll go with another teaspoon of honey. Stove time. Bada bing. I always put that on low. Get my half cup of stuff, dump it right in there. Other things I want to experiment with is like throwing some Walden Farms pancake syrup in here. Just kind of any sweet base that's pretty low in calories I think would be good. I looked at the sugar-free syrups. Honestly, I just think that that much sugar alcohols is bad news. You're going to end up crapping your brains out. Most people, you know, getting 8-10 grams of that or more potentially in this kind of dish. So that'll go ahead and melt itself pretty fast there. Once that's melted in, there's really no need to keep that on the burner very long. You don't want to overdo that, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull that right off while I get my cereal and stuff ready. Get a little light up in here. So you're basically just looking for those marshmallow pieces and the avocado to smooth out. Now I can tell you this is going to be a little bitter from that Walden Farms if it wasn't jazzed up with the marshmallows and other stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put about 2 teaspoons of the PB Lean in and a scoop of whey. That's my own little blend of whey and casein. Half of a scoop of vanilla flavored whey and then just a non-flavored casein. The PB Lean, again, we're trying to make a lower fat version to not have to put so much peanut butter in. And then also avocados, even though they're high in fat, again, a little more on the carb side. There's some trace amounts of carbs in avocados. So again, if you're trying to keep the fat low because you don't have room in your macros, avocado is kind of one potential option there. You end up a little more carbs, but not quite as fat dense, but still smooth and creamy, like say if you were adding an oil or butter or something like that. So let's just see the texture of that. I mean, gosh, this is what I'm trying to show. This is again why I show principles, not rules. I mean, look at that. I just winged that without even fully knowing what I was getting into. This is actually the 3rd or 4th time I've made this dish today. I was just refreshing my skills. Like I said, I haven't made it a lot since Christmas break, but yeah, I always say Christmas break. I'm such a student. But you can see, I mean, gosh, I've winged a bunch of different versions today, all with the same of the above ingredients, just different ratios, different amounts. So again, calculate whatever you feel is best to suit in your numbers. So I lied a little bit based on what I got left for today. I'm going to go with 2 cups. Close enough. This is almost 2 cups. A little less. You turn it into a fatty anyway, so it'll be good. A little less than 2 cups. Chocolate fiber 1. 2 cups Kix. Get my chocolate sauce. Pile that on there. Oh my gosh. Wow. This chocolate sauce came out better than I expected. Like I said, I've yet to fail. They always come out decent, but this one, on the other hand, is I'm gonna go with the word exquisite. It's coming to mind right now. So this, honestly, it's kind of like Rice Krispie Squares. When you get everything perfect, they'll set just like that. When you don't, though, it just kind of becomes like a Muddy Buddies type thing. And if you've ever had Chex Muddy Buddies, and that's what you end up with. Should also mention, I guess I'm a little bit confident because I've done this so many times, but typically as you're making your sauce, I would encourage you to check along the way your ratios, that you're not getting too out of hand. That just allows you to kind of save things if you need to throw in a little bit extra, like artificial sweetener or a little more fat, or you went a little too crazy on the Walden Farms and it's a little bitter with the chocolate there or something. Just allows you the ability to do that. And I also want to show, I didn't use them, but you could mix in Hershey's cocoa. You could even do like confectioner sugar instead of the honey. Again, flexible options. gosh. I love eating. So this will definitely give you several indulgent bars, if you will. But in my case, I think I'm actually going to be eating this all right now. But you can see here, it depends on the cereal you choose. If you choose something more like the puffed wheat or something where it's a lot of little granular pieces, the chocolate sauce will be used up faster, so your coverage kind of goes faster. In this case, since these are pretty large cereal pieces, you can see they're pretty densely covered. Like I could probably even put a little more cereal in here and spread this out, make it go a little bit longer. So if you're not going to eat this all at once, like in this case I got to keep my portions in check, but if you weren't going to eat this all at once, then this is where maybe you could add a little more and then ultimately make your final calculation and get more mileage out of that half a cup of your sauce type stuff. But again, if you're using something with smaller granules, that sauce is going to get used up faster. But again, usually, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong if you know a better idea, usually with the the smaller granule stuff, you end up with more caloric density, right? They're not the bulkier carbs like I'm trying to show you here. So you can see what this ends up like. I mean, gosh, amazing. Time to get fat. And I think I'm going to go ahead with kicks this time. Show you what that looks like. Another thing here, sorry to show you my fat face, but if you do something like the wheat or whatnot, when you're chewing it, it's going to be kind of like chewier. This, what I want you to see, how amazing this is. Check out, like listen to the crunch. So good.